Hey everyone, it's Steve from the garden. Well, it's mid-fall and I'm going to do a quick garden check-in with you. Now you can see behind me I got my apple tree. The apples are fully ripe at this time and I've been kind of picking off the ones I want to keep, and anything else I will just leave out. In fact, as I was coming out of the house just now, I saw a squirrel taking off with one of the apples that had fallen on the ground. So I do kind of leave the bad ones, so to speak, on the tree and allow the animals to come and eat those all they want. So anyways, let's get started. I'll show you how things are going. Here I have my carrots that I planted in the beginning of August. Some of these are really forming up pretty nicely, getting some good size on them, and I've been pulling some of these. Now overall, we have a cold spell that's going to be coming through, so I'm going to have to put some protection over these to kind of keep them good, and I'll pull out some of the larger ones, I think, to put them into storage. Now the rest of this bed, I spread horse manure on the top of it, and I need to come back and now cover the horse manure with some compost. In that bed, that's where the garlic was planted, and on this side was where the cover crop was done. Now the other two beds I topped off with leaves and then covered them up with the woven ground cover. Now I might come back and put some compost on top of those leaves just to kind of help hold them in place and help speed up the breakdown process. We got a woodpecker out there pounding on my dead tree, looking for insects. Now I had some really strong winds the last 2 days, and you can kind of see how the wind pushed this whole structure over. So I'm going to have to rectify that. And with the cold spell that's coming, I'm going to take off this insect netting since it's not needed anymore. I'm going to put some plastic on instead. With the insect netting off, I'll take a quick look. I got a nice head of broccoli here that's ready for harvest. Now some of these I've already harvested. So like this is a side shoot that's coming up. And this is another side shoot. Some more over here. We got a new head forming over there. Bunch of little ones. This one I'll probably just cut out that one. These ones here are just now starting to head up. So this is an important reason why I need to get the plastic on so that I can finish out the harvest on these. With the plastic on, this should provide us enough protection to get through the next 2 or 3 weeks, which I'm hoping is enough time for those last broccolis on the end to finish heading up so I can harvest them. In these two beds, I got these covered with leaves, and I'll have to also top these off with some compost. And that's the raspberries down there. I'll put just some compost in there too. Now in this bed, this is where I grew my potatoes, and on the far end was the other planting of broccoli. So I covered this entire bed with leaves, and then I topped it off with some horse manure. And I'll probably also put some compost on here too. Now I do need to go and get some more horse manure, and when I do, I'll just kind of finish topping off the leaves with the horse manure before I put the compost on. Here under the hinged double hoop house, I got all this lettuce planted, and this is looking really good. All this lettuce here can be harvested or picked off as I need to. Now enter the Persephone time of the year where the amount of available sunlight drops below 10 hours a day. And at that point, not only does temperatures around here cool down quite a bit, but the plant growth is going to be, very minimal going forward. As with that slow growth in mind that I planted so much lettuce to begin with. Now this lettuce did reach a good maturity size where it should handle the cold. And actually, you should even taste better with the cold that's coming because the plant will convert more sugars up into the leaves. But that slow growth period, the plants aren't going to grow that much from now going forward. So over the next 4 to 6 weeks, maybe even a little bit longer, I'll be able to just kind of come out here, harvest lettuce as I need it before I have to start planting lettuce indoors. Well, I hope you enjoyed coming along like a little quick garden tour. Now going forward, there's not going to be a whole lot to do in the garden itself other than topping off the beds with compost. But my thoughts now start to turn toward my fall composting. I have multiple compost bins over there where I fill them up with leaves, horse manure, and whatever grass clippings I get. And I start mixing them together, and it's a great time of year to do that because, one, you have time to get things ready now for next season, but also, it's not hot out, and if you're doing the heavy work, you don't sweat to death doing it. So until then, I hope you enjoyed, hope you got something out of this, and we'll see you on the next one.